What is going on, y'all? Welcome back to the Locks DFS MLB breakdown. My name is Narang. I'm from LocksDFS.com, and I will be breaking down this 15-game main slate on DraftKings and FanDuel for Friday, April 26th. This is my third time recording this. I don't know why. Every time I've recorded this, it's just like cut out 5 minutes in. I've had to restart. So I'm going to do it all over again, and we'll see how it goes. So I'm going to break down the 15-game slate for y'all, but before I get into that, if you guys want to go ahead and leave a like and comment on this video, not only would it mean a lot to me as far as gaining traction on these videos, but you yourself will be entered into winning a free season pass of your choice. Everyone's really chosen baseball, so I'm assuming you will as well, but it's just our way of giving back to our most active viewers, most supportive members, and those that are, helping us gain traction on this channel, because it really means a lot to us. It's a little win-win situation where we can hook you guys back up as well. And also, if you just want to get yourself a pass, locksdfs.com/shop is the place to do that. We have month passes, yearly passes. You get access to our lock sheets where we break down players, give them analysis, give them a grade, how to stack them. We rank them based on whether they're a lock, a cash game play, a GPP play, a value play. And then you have access to our member Slack chat 24/7, where you got access to me and Christian 24/7. We talk about baseball in there all day. Up through lock, we talk about our plays, your plays, just breaking down all these games, where we're looking at building our teams, how we're looking at it. And so it's just a real invaluable resource, in my opinion. I think it's way worth the price. So if you are interested, go ahead and check it out there. But with that all being said, let's just get into this slate, because it's a big slate, lots to talk about, a lot of pitching options, big name pitching options we can get into. So I'll just start with my favorite point per dollar pitching options, and that's going to be Max Scherzer and James Paxton tonight. It's interesting, man. Looking at DK's pricing, it's just like so many. It's loose as far as pitchers go. It's quite loose. I mean, this is a spot where last year, correct me if I'm wrong, if any of you played MLB DFS last year, Max Scherzer would be like 12K. James Paxton would be like 11K. I don't know why DK's being so soft with their pitching prices, but they are. So the fact that you can play Scherzer and Paxton for what, 20K and still have 3750 per bat seems like a bet to me. But let's just talk about these plays. So Max Scherzer, typical dominant self, 1.48 xFIP to righties, over a 12K per nine to both-handedness. This is a pretty decent sample size in 31 innings, but we'll go ahead and look at 2018 as well, where he had a 2.53 xFIP to righties, 11.3K per nine to lefties with a 3.58 xFIP. He is a fly ball pitcher, which is why you're going to see his xFIP be fairly high versus lefties, but he just generates so much soft contact that it's really all in pop-ups, not really hard hit fly balls. He can be prone to giving up a home run here or there to a good left-handed bat, but that's good. That's like a perfect matchup because they only have one left-handed bat in this lineup. That is the Padres, and that's Eric Hosmer, who's far from a good left-handed bat. It's the best matchup you could possibly ask for him, just because, I mean, if we filter this via the last 14 days, we see the Padres have the highest K rate in the league with one of the lowest walk rates in the league and a WRC plus of 68. If you filter it versus right-handed pitching, it looks just as bad for the Padres, but they have the highest K rate versus them. So just an awful spot for them, and it's reflected in their team total. I think it opened at 3-2. It's dropped to 2-9. I mean, Scherzer at 10-4 is just such an easy play that I think most of y'all will already be making that. And then another guy that's sort of just as easy. One thing I want to talk about with Scherzer is just his swinging strike rate. That's really it. I love looking at that statistic as far as, because you really want to target strikeouts with your starting pitchers. And Scherzer, I mean, just look at this. 16.4% swinging strike rate. That's insane. That's like the league average is like 8.5%. So he's almost double the league average. I'm going to be all over this today. And then James Paxton, he's actually more or less the same. His swinging strike rate, I believe, is like above 15. What is it? Yeah, it's 15.1, which is awesome. He gets a big park boost going from Yankee Stadium to AT&T or Oracle Park. That's one of the more pitcher-friendly parks in baseball. He has a 3.13 xFIP versus righties and a dominant 2.15 xFIP versus lefties. Lefties versus him almost have no chance. And now he has a great matchup as well, because if we go scroll down, obviously the San Francisco lineup isn't out yet, but they always lean fairly heavily lefty. Brandon Crawford is going to be in there. Steven Doug is going to be in there. So only two lefties in the projected lineup with a pitcher spot. I anticipate Brandon Belt will probably find his way in there as well. And then you got Pablo Sandoval and Yangervis Solarte, who are on their weaker side. They're better. They're switch hitters, but they're better from the left. So just an awesome matchup for him. Definitely a guy that I'm going to try and get as much exposure to as possible. I don't think it's going to be too difficult for you guys to get in Scherzer and Paxton. You may have to get a little bit gross at some bats, but it really shouldn't be too bad just because they're so cheap. But if you are struggling to get all the bats you want, I think there's another guy we can look to, and that's Hyunjin Ryu here. I mean, he's always been reliable. The real issue with him has been health and just innings limit, pitch counts, but he has thrown 90-plus pitches in multiple games this year, which makes me feel pretty comfortable about his pitch count. 2.76 xFIP versus righties, 2.28 versus lefties, generating a swinging strike rate just above 11%, which is still really, really good. And if we filter this via lefties, just how teams have been batting versus lefties on the year, and we go advanced, we back out of here. Let's see. And we go advanced and then filter by strikeout percentage, we'll see that the Pirates, this is running slow. We'll see that the Pirates are second highest K percentage in the league at 30%, right behind the Rays versus lefties, with only a 6.3% walk rate, which is great. 57 WRC plus, which is just awful. So it's a really, really good matchup for him. Also in a really good ballpark at Dodger Stadium. So if you do feel like getting Ryu over one of these two top guys, lets you get a couple more bats that you want, that, hey, I don't think is that bad of a move, but those are really going to be the guys that I'm looking at. There's a ton of options that you can look towards because it's obviously a massive slate. So do your research, join Locks, see who we're talking about, and that'll do it for pitchers. So with that being said, let's move on to bats because there are so many to talk about on this slate. But I'm only going to narrow it down to a couple spots. The first spot I want to talk about is Toronto versus Mike Fiers. Mike Fiers is a guy that's just he's a reverse split fly ball righty. Doesn't really strike guys out. He has a swinging strike rate right around like 7%, which is below league average. As you can see, his numbers this year: 5.66 xFIP to righties, 5.31 to lefties. Comes with a 2.51 home runs per 9 to righties and a 1.69 home run per 9 to lefties. Slightly increased home run to fly ball percentages, but it may just normalize around here too because of how heavy a fly ball pitcher he is. And there's a few bats to look to for Toronto here. One guy, don't know if you've heard of him, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. just got called up, and he is going to be hitting 5th for them. So that is, this lineup just came out, so I'm interested in quite a few of these guys. I like Guerrero here hitting 5th. I like Randall Grichuk hitting 3rd. Again, we're looking for Mike Fiers, he's bad versus lefties, but he does have reverse splits throughout his career. So a lot of these righties like Guerrero, Grichuk are going to be on my radar. Even Teoscar batting 7th is interesting, but I don't think you can shy away from the lefties either. Tellez hitting cleanup, it makes a lot of sense to me. Sogard, he can hit the ball pretty well. So interested in a lot of these guys, and it's reflected in their team total as well. It's risen from 4.6 to 4.8. The over-under for this entire game has gone up a bit, but definitely makes me feel a bit more comfortable in stacking these Blue Jays because, if you have 3,750 per bat and Vlad Guerrero's 4,300, then he might be your highest priced bat. But I'm pretty okay with that on a slate like this. And then another spot I think you can look at is just looking at team totals. We have the Twins just like with this outlandishly high team total as opposed to everyone else at 5.6. And it makes sense when you look at this matchup. So they're going up against Alex Cobb, who's just such a middling pitcher. And the Twins have been really, really good this year. This is a small sample size, so I'm not going to use this. We'll use his 2018 numbers just so that we have a bigger sample size, about 150 innings. 4.60 xFIP to righties, 4.35 to lefties. Walks his fair share of guys. 1.70 home runs per 9 to righties, 1.15 to lefties. Comes with fair amount of hard contact. He just doesn't really do anything too good. And this Twins team has been one of the best hitting teams in the league this year. I believe they're 4th in WRC plus, and they have an awesome matchup, awesome ballpark. I'm just if you can afford them, which I think you'll be able to because some of these guys are fairly cheap, like Marwin Gonzalez, 3.3K, Max Kepler only 4.2, even CJ Cron only 4K, Nelson Cruz fairly cheap. So I think you'll be able to afford some of these guys. I really do like them a lot in this matchup. But that'll do it for as far as the bats I talked about on this video. There's a lot of other spots we can break down just because obviously it's a 15-game slate. But if you do want to keep keep up to date with the rest of the bats that I'm going to be on, then get yourself a pass. It'll all be on the lock sheet. We'll talk about it in the members chat as well. And then let's just wrap it up with these home run calls. So high price guy, obviously it's above 4K and below 4K. So there's no way I'm going to go with anyone but Vlad Guerrero here at 4.3K on DraftKings. He's going to homer this game. I feel it. So I'm going to go with him as my high price guy. Even though I like to go with a guy that's like above 5K, I feel confident in his pop versus a reverse splits fly ball righty that I'll go with him. And then sub 4K, I actually haven't looked too much at this range. I have a guy in mind. Let me just make sure. Yeah, I will stick with him. All right, so we'll go with Nicholas Castellanos here. Guy was one of the best. I believe he actually was the best left hitter of left-handed pitching. Last year, he had like a 381 average. And this year, it's not so much the same. But he does have like a .150 BABIP, I believe. So that should regress positively for him a lot. And he's still scalding the ball. He's hitting at like a 45% hard hit rate versus lefties. So big fan of him versus Carlos Rodon. And getting him at sub 4K is kind of a steal. So I'll definitely be on that if it fits in my lineup. So with that being said, Castellanos, cheap guy. Vlad Guerrero Jr., high price guy. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like and comment. It really does mean a lot. Hope you guys win a ton of money tonight, and I will see y'all tomorrow. Peace.